Hello, yes, it's me again. It's way before Christmas time. It's before Halloween time. I think it's like September 17th today. So, what I'm going to do is bypass Halloween. I've already carved my pumpkins and this and that. I'm going to start carving these fence board Christmas trees with lights in them. So, what I did is I went to the hardware store. I bought an 8-foot board, basically a fence board, 8-foot board. These are cedar. You guys can use any wood that you can get. Lots of you get pine boards. So I bought an 8-foot board like this, but 8 feet long. This is 8 inches wide. You guys can use 6 inches. So like 1 by 6, 1 by 8, 1 by 10. I would prefer to get 10 inch, but they don't sell 10-inch boards like this. So I divided it into four, and I got four trees out of one board, and each tree is 2 feet long. What I did is you can see, I just drew the things on, trees on. Some are straight, like that one's straight. These ones are sloped. That one's sloped. Cut them out with my chainsaw. You guys could use a jigsaw. Lots of you guys don't have chainsaws. I'd suggest getting a jigsaw, cutting out, or even a bandsaw. So these Christmas lights that I get, I don't think they're going to sell them in the stores right now, but these are battery powered, two double A's. I get them at Dollarama here in Canada. They're $2. Let's see. So when you drill the holes, I know there's 20 lights, so I got to drill 20 holes. Make sure you don't drill the holes too far apart, because these lights only have a certain amount of wire between each light. All right. So make sure you count. So 20 lights, 20 holes. I always put a starting point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Make sure they can travel. They go this way. We'll talk more about lights later, like this, right? Up that way. So all you need is the fence boards, a drill with a right size drill bit for the lights, a hot glue gun to glue in the lights, a Dremel. I'm running a Dremel 4000 with the Dremel flex shaft, and I'm hooked up to a pedal. I'm not too sure what bit I'm going to use for these Christmas trees, but trust me, I'm making this video a lot earlier than I normally do, because I'm trying to help you guys get ahead of the game. Start carving them now, because you'll sell them all at Christmas time. Especially for all you that go to the Christmas markets. They're big sellers. Turn the lights on, people love them, especially the ladies. One more thing, too, I forgot to say. I like to drill the holes in the trees before I carve the details on them, because, well, when you drill the holes, you have little blowouts like this, right? So it's good to be able to carve these little blowout pieces away, because if you drill the holes after you carve the trees, you're going to get little blowouts, and you're going to have to go back and touch them up and stuff. So it's just best to drill the holes first. Okay, so I got the camera in the overhead. Um, Now these trees you can carve up. There's so many different ways to do it. This I'm just going to do the most simple way. So let's start at the top of the tree and run a center line all the way. Sorry, I can't get the whole tree in the picture, but we got a center line all the way down there. So for the first one here, I'm just going to go like this and keep on bringing the branches off the center line. Sorry, this might be the fastest way. I'm not going to do any undercuts on this one. So you kind of just do this all the way down, and you just keep on bringing it out of the center. And then when you go down here, like towards the bottom where it gets bigger, you just make them bigger. Like before, I used to do one cut here, then I would undercut that, then I would make all the branches come out from underneath there, if that makes sense to you. But like I said, there's so many different ways to do it, and there's so many different burrs you could use. But you can see it's on there like that. So what I'm going to start off with, like I said, I'm running the Dremel 4000. Here's my favorite burr in the world, the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. Anybody wants to get the Kutzall burrs, go to the description down below. It will take you to the Kutzall site. If you use the code CFusion, you'll save yourself 5%. But you'll see this one here. So what I'm going to do is just going to start taking each side, go down, and carve it in, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Hi, Liz. Oh, also before I get carving here, I want to give a huge shout out to a great artist. Her name is Amy Joe. Amy Joe secretly started a YouTube channel, and she didn't tell me, but I seen it. So, Amy's YouTube channel, the description below, I think her channel is just called Amy Joe, but I'll leave a link to her YouTube channel listed in the description below, right by the Kutzall site. And if you guys can go over there and subscribe for me, for her, and the Carving Fusion community, it would be appreciated. It's free to do. If you don't like her videos, don't watch them. But it would mean a lot to me if you go over there and subscribe to her. All right. Okay, so I got the fan going. My dust collector table. All the dust gets, well, not all of it, but this is hooked up to a dust collector in the closet. Lots of dust gets sucked in down here by pipes. So all wood's different. I'm not 100% if I'm going to use this burr on the whole carving because like some wood's fuzzies, it's all different. So for the top, I always kind of just do a simple one on the top. I kind of bring it up and over. See that? So the top's just one there, up and over. So let's get carving. You got to be careful where those lights are because it will sink in like you just saw there. Then I just... Well, you can see here I've kind of gone back to my old style. I cross them. Kind of like fish scales, cross, 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 cross. So I'll do it slowly here. So one this way. So see how that one went under there? Now I do one under here. Okay, so you can see I'm getting my pattern going. So now, like this, when I do this style, I kind of do undercuts, but I'm not going to do it today. Now you got the cut there, so we'll start at the bigger part so it's easier for you guys to see. You can see the cut line there. Now I go along, boom, 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 boom. Remove that cut line, taper it away. Okay, now to the other side. You know, so I know it's hard to see on the camera. It looks like this is not the best cedar. So say for these fence boards, you see how this is just a straight side? You can make it so these little tips stick out a little bit. I don't like to do it too much on these boards because it's so thin. But see how I get that little point sticking off there? Okay, so you guys can follow what's going on with this. I'll get all these carved in. Let's do one more. Okay, so watch this side. I'm going to carve deeper on this side. Get that tip to stick out. Oops. Okay, so see how that tip's sticking out there? Just carve deeper under there. You can go up and under. All right, so I'll get all this done, then we'll do some details. So I gotta apologize for that. I kind of went back to my old route, my old way of carving the trees. So you see 1, 2, 1, 2. What I did after that, when I was done with that Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr, I did start carving some details in the bottom here. And I carved these things, the stalk, the friggin', oh boy, the trunk. Then I carved the trunk just with that Extreme Flame Burr. So I carved these just to show you guys what it will look like. What I did is I used this burr. This is the Kutzall Silver Taper Burr. You can cut, because it's got the point there, you can kind of do an undercut right under each branch, then bring out each, we'll just call them needle leaves or whatever. So let's just kind of finish this one and then we'll carry on. We'll try and do another simpler one. All right. So before I get the fan going and start making all the noise, so all I do is just go, can you guys see it okay? I just go underneath here, right? Feather out your cut lines. Try and get underneath this. We'll just call this a branch, okay? Try and get underneath this branch. Feather out your cut lines underneath here too. And then just go like this and bring your little branch thing, single branches out, all right? Ignite the fan. So that would kind of be like an undercut. Now we're doing the single branches. Okay, so there you can see the single things. Sometimes I cross them. See how like this one just comes straight down? Sometimes I'll pull it over slowly. See how that separates them a bit more when you just pull, not just like bam, just do it nice and gradually over. Let's do one more. Let's do this one. Undercut, kind of an undercut. So undercut, get rid of your cut mark. Now start bringing the branches out. And you see here, this one I kind of take it this way, like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Then this side, this way, whoosh, whoosh. All right? Cross it. So sometimes, if you don't do a good enough undercut, you'll see little starts there. All you do is go like this. So it doesn't, so that, doing that makes it so it doesn't ride up this other branch, all right? So there you go. So what I do with this, because you don't, this is soft wood, the cedar, pine's pretty soft too. So you don't want to sand away all your detail. I got this sanding mandrel with this Scotch-Brite on here. This, I'll leave a link to the box of this Scotch-Brite. That's how I buy it. This stuff's the best. It's M3. I think it's the best anyways. But this is on a sanding mandrel. Um, yeah, so these are in my Amazon store, these sanding mandrels. But I'll leave a link to this box of scotch. It's not cheap, but you get lots of big pads like this big in there. And this it will last you years if you're going to do it like this. And when you're using this on your Dremel, make sure you turn your Dremel down because this will fry your Dremel. Like turn it down to quarter of the speed and it should get rid of all the fuzzies. Like I already did it down here. I haven't done it here yet, right? So, but we'll get to this after. Okay, there's the first tree done. I want to say something with these little fence board Christmas trees. The cleaner that you make them, well, the more money you can charge. And I get good money for these trees, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of repetitive carving, doing all these little things in this. So I'm going to try and make this one a little bit simpler. These are aluminum cutting burrs. Let me get some better lighting here. Don't be mistaken for the aluminum cutters and the metalworking burrs. Just Amazon aluminum cutting burrs. You see they got the bigger cutting flutes on them. These are like carving with planes. So it's best kind of go with the grain when you're using the normal ones. But we're going to use this one here. I use this burr quite often actually. And these aluminum cutting burrs work great for all you in Australia or places that have mostly hardwoods. Um, and they're like 20 bucks a set or something like that. So I do suggest these for harder woods, and they cut really clean. Excuse me, they cut really clean too. But we're going to use this one. This is the cylinder type. See the cutter on the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how I'm just using the edge. I'm going to go like this, just with that corner, just with that edge, because you got a cutter on the side and the top, and it makes a nice little clean cuts. I do lots of wood spirit beard hairs with these. It takes a lot more work with this because it's such fine and so many little cuts. But we're gonna do this whole tree with this. We're just gonna go like this. We're gonna follow the tree and go this way down with it, all the little cuts, and we'll. I haven't done this yet, so let's see how that looks. It's a bit more basic than this, but it might work too. Also, another thing I forgot to mention when I had my chainsaw out and I cut this, I cut it on a bevel. You see how these sides are beveled? Because it saves a lot of time when you got your Dremel. Because you see here, this one is not beveled, it's just got a square edge. Well, I got to get my Dremel bit and I got to round this whole edge off, taper it off so it's not such a square edge. So even if you got your jigsaw, you can turn your jigsaw and you can cut it so it's on a bevel first because it will save a lot of time with the Dremel. All right, so let's. I'm gonna get the. I'm gonna get carving here. I'm not gonna be talking because I'm just gonna put on my desk mask and just start doing the things. Okay, so there's the one I just did beside the other one. Um, Yeah, it's doable. It's sellable. But I like this style better, but this style is a lot more work. So now we're going to do another style that I've done. You guys can come up with your own styles. Like this one has branches left, right, whatever, right, left, right. But you can make one in the middle too, right? So it's all up to whatever you want to do. I'm just lazy when it comes to this stuff. Like I make them nice and clean, but quicker I can carve them, the better. Okay, maybe lazy is not the best word, just impatient. So all I'm going to do is just kind of draw some lines across here. Put some flow in there too if you want. See, I'm just kind of making them like that, try and full of flow. And when you get down farther, make them bigger, just like the first tree. And then boom. Whoosh. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is going to take, I think, 3 burrs. Actually, I'll probably use this one. This is pretty soft. So I'll use this taper burr. I'm going to go on these lines, cut straight on the line. Then I'm going to taper underneath to get the undercut, right? Then I'll go like this. Whoosh, whoosh. So you can do this one with just one single silver taper burr. Now I've decided that way goes too slow just using this burr. So now I got the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. Now I'm going to do my cut across. Okay, so right here, I'm going to do a fresh cut because this is more aggressive. These extremes are a lot more aggressive than the silver ones. So I'm going to do my cuts across, get some depth in there. Then I'll come back and do the undercuts and then the things with this one. Okay, that was a lot of carving in a short amount of time. Here's the first one I did, the second one I did, the third one I did, and I did another one off screen. This is what I tried to do with the first one, just bring your pieces out from the center. See, you draw a center line in there and you just carve out, and just keep on doing it out, opposites. So there's 4. One quick thing about this propane torch, I'm not burning it that deep. I'm just burning it quickly to get rid of some fuzzies, but I am going to burn the tree trunks deeper to get 2 different colors. The tree trunks will be darker than the trees. You don't want to burn it too much. So here you go. One thing I didn't mention at the beginning of this video, and I wish I did, don't forget to carve your tree trunks farther back to separate them from the trees. Okay, so now, there you go. Which one's your favorite now? I think I still like that one. Even this one that was such a quick carve, this will sell. I'm telling you right now, once you get the lights in here, it's a game changer. Now these are what I use to make them stand up. So little blocks like this. I did like 30 of them. All right. So you see how it's tilted back because these trees should be tilted back just a little bit. Let me I got this board here. Let me just show you an example. If you have a square, you can use a square. But all I'll do is just go like this, cut, this, cut. That's it. So you just get the little pieces. Don't make them straight up and down because then it could fall forward. If it's tilted back, then at least they won't fall forward, I guess. I don't know. Here they are anyways. I gotta hot glue them on. Okay, my hot glue gun's heating up. Now, I've made mistakes gluing these on. I just kind of, you go like this and you glue it on like that. But no, what I do is I put a dab of glue on here and here. And when I glue it on, I stand the tree up. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see on camera. Let me make sure you can see. I stand it up and lean it back and glue it on and hold it at the bottom. So I'm sorry everybody, you can't see, but I do it when it's standing up so I know that this is in a good spot and right in the center of the trunk, right? So it's best to do it, stand it up and put some pressure on it and hold it in place till it's dry, all right? Then what I'll do is when this is on there, I'm sorry, this is not the best, but what I do is on there, I put some glue around the edge of the tree holder. Okay, so there you go. There's 4 standing Christmas trees ready for lights. See how they're tilted back? This one's a little bit too far. No big deal. Some of you, if you want to bevel the back out at a slope so you don't get that gap, I don't care. Not one person has ever said to me, why is there a gap there? Ever. Okay, so I'm going to stop working on this video for now, and I'll put the lights in tonight because it's a good time for some quiet music and to put the lights in. But I got a couple more trees I got to carve. I think this is a wet cedar, so okay, so here comes the fun part. Normally I have a board to put under here for the lights so the lights don't go down in the holes, but I'm giving you guys the wide angle. So now these lights, Dollarama, I bought like 200 sets like 2 years ago in case I don't make them anymore. And well, you always have to put the batteries in them to make sure they work. So these ones are 20 lights in a set, 20 lights, Christmas lights. They got timers on them. So this has a 6-hour timer, so it stays on for 6 hours. And well, it turns off for 18, so it doesn't kill your batteries, and it's just on for nighttime, right? Um, if you can't get these, I know Walmart. Every year I look at Walmart, they sell the lights like this. They're not your normal Christmas lights. They're like LEDs. See how they are. I'm not too sure. I know you can buy them on Amazon, but they come in like 100 lights, so you don't get the 20. So you might not be able to get these in the stores yet. But say it's Halloween time right now. These aren't Halloween, but this is like 10 lights on this one. It's exact same, right? But it doesn't have a timer. These are just the clear lights. So if it was Halloween time, you'd get things like, okay, so you can see here, there's 10 here. You could get ones with like little ghosts. They have little pumpkins. All you have to do is get your heat gun. Don't melt this wire. It's super small wire. But all you have to do is get your heat gun, heat up there, and these things should pop out. And that's how you can get lights. Because I don't just use Christmas lights. I use clear lights too. This one doesn't have the timer, but they're clear. Some ladies some people or whatever they are, like the clear lights too, so they can have the trees for all year long. So in case you can't get the Christmas ones, I'd go to the dollar store or Walmart and look for these packages with like little ghosts. They're little plastic ghosts or pumpkins or whatever, and you can just pull. These ones are super easy to do, but you can usually, like I said, these lights would be hot glued onto your little pumpkin sitting up here. Just get your heat gun, heat up the pumpkin, and then just pull it off and whatever. So that's that. So like I said, always check. These are from China. Like what isn't made in China these days? Always check your. If I can get this open without breaking it. Okay, I'll get this open. Stand by. Always make sure your lights work. That's the number one thing, right? Because these are made in China. I don't know if they go through tests or whatever. Like, so put this case. These cases can crack pretty easy. So let's see here. Okay, so all our lights are working. Perfect. So now we got to start putting them in the holes. So if you only get these 10 light ones, just make 10 holes. Smaller trees. I make the big chainsaw carving trees. I do these trees. I even do smaller trees in these. And I'll be doing more of those for like Christmas themed things. So here's the end of my lights. It's neat that the final light's red for like the North Pole. So all I do is go around and I put all the lights in the holes. Now sometimes like this hole's next, but sometimes I'll stretch it out if that because the anyways. Put all the lights in the holes. This is when you're going to find out if you carved too many holes or not enough. Let's just keep going. What's that? Anyways, I get all the lights in the holes. Then let's just keep running live here. Perfect amount of holes. No extra holes. Perfect. So now I got my hot glue gun. Can you guys see up here? And I just kind of give it a quick tack. I kind of feel where the light is on the face of the carving because you don't want them to stick too far out. You don't want them to stick too like not far out enough. Okay, so I'll get all this done, gluing them in, let them dry, and I'll be back. Okay, when I got all the backs glued in, I turn it around quickly, and I just make sure the lights are all where they're supposed to be. Pretty well. Some are going to stick farther out than others. That's all right. Some are going to go in farther than others. That's all right. Perfect. All right. Now, you can give it another touch of hot glue if you want, if they're in place good where you want them. But that's pretty good for me. Now, this is Twister. Who remembers this is the most funnest thing you've ever done in your life? I'm lying. Who's ever done Twister when they're younger? So this is like finger twister. You don't have to glue down these wires, but I do. That's just what I do. So you get a clump there, and I just freaking hot glue it down, get it done. And this is set to low so the glue's not too hot. I lick my finger and push it down. That's it. This is more like crafting. Crafting with Jordy. Okay, so it's like finger twister. I used to be like this holding the glue down, but now I just lick my finger, cool it down, boom, you're good to go. If there's some extra ones there, just give it a hit. I'm sure I don't need to explain how this is done. Some lady a couple years ago used to use heavy nuts and put the nuts on the wire. Like nuts and bolts. I put this on last. Okay? So all you do is just sit here, get all your wires down, and yeah, I don't know what else I can say, but like finger twister. Okay, so now you got all your lights glued down, and you got the battery pack here. So all I do is make sure you don't glue this upside down. That little pumpkin video I did with the single light, the LED light, Somebody left a comment, if you're out there. Somebody left a comment saying I glued it upside down. I glued it down upside down. And for your information, if you're out there, you're wrong. I didn't glue it upside down, but I have glued these on upside down. So I know this is the lid. This is the part that slides off. All I do is find a good spot for it. Well, kind of set yourself up for a thing, thing. So that's pretty good right there. Get some hot glue on here. This is probably when I could turn my hot glue gun up, speed things up a bit. It's like welding. So you just put this, watch that wire, put this on there so you know it's not going to be shown from the front, like nothing's visual that way. So I just put this on here, then I do some welding on the side of it. The hot glue gun. You don't want it to fall off. You know, I charge good money for these things. So but then again, I put lots of work into these things too. So I can charge good money. And if they weren't sellers, well, I'd make one or two to give away, but I wouldn't make them to sell them. That's for sure. The wire, the extra wire just goes from the first light here all the way to here. So I just got the wire and looped it around and kind of tucked it in there. That's all. Now we can finish this video. Okay, so you guys can see everything's glued down. Here's the lights. One important thing always, sign your pieces. There it is, J for Jordy. I call this hot glue snot. You get that little stringy shit. I don't have the patience to sit there with, pretend this is my hot glue gun, sit there, put hot glue gun, and then go like this. I just let it do what it is. Here's a heat gun, and I just melt it. Cleans up your whole piece. Heat gun. That's all. All right, so I got all the lighting done. And right about then is when my microphone stopped working. There's the trees all done, the two extra ones that I carved, the same pattern, so there's 6 there. What am I going to say here? There's the first one I did. It's kind of my old school way of doing it. There's a style that I'm going to be doing most of the year. Oh yeah, I was saying that my cuts aren't very good, but people aren't going to notice when they buy the trees. I was just rushing it, so the more time you take, the better it's going to look. And here's some shitty microphone coming up. Just to show you guys, and this is the one I did with that aluminum cutting burr. It's kind of funny because a few years back I did a tree and I called it the chocolate chip poo tree, and this kind of reminds me of the chocolate chip poo tree. I also put not chocolate chip but M&M poo tree. You'll see when the lights are on. I also put a clear coat on this one too. So this one's my least favorite. This one kind of goes like this, then straight down. You know, I should have just made it more fluent, but like I said, they're my first trees of the season. It's still 98 days to Christmas. I still got lots of time, and you guys have lots of time, but I'm making this, I made this video early for you guys so you guys can get ahead of the game. The trees I'm going to do this year are going to be like this. See how I did that? And I made the, so just draw it on like whoosh, give it nice flowing movement like this one. They don't all have to be the same. You see that? Those are the kind of trees I'm going to carve for the rest of the year. So I guess the last thing to do is turn the lights off, turn the lights on. I don't know if I have enough batteries for all the trees. I even had to like take batteries out of the other carvings I did with the crystals and stuff to be able to, I even had to take batteries out of my front door lock to finish this video. Okay, stand by. Lights coming on. All right, the lights are on. Just this one far here doesn't have lights in them. So there you go. They're super fun to make, but maybe 6 in a day with the wiring is a little bit too much.
The other trees, I'm going to make some more. Also, this cedar was not the best cedar. Like I said, try and find yourself some tight grain. The first stuff that I was carving was tight grain, but it was wet. So actually, all the cedar was wet. So like I said, you guys can find pine boards or any type of boards that you can get at your hardware store. Now you see how this tree looks like. Here, let's get better lighting on it. You see how it looks like the M&M poo tree. Yep. You watch. By the end of the year, somebody will buy this. And another thing too is I don't really talk about how much I sell my carvings for on YouTube. But let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd say that's a $600 day I had today. Trust me, I'll get it too. Now let's turn this final light off and I'll call it a big Al grand finale with no music. There you go. Oh Christmas tree, do 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 do. You guys want to make money for Christmas? I'm telling you right now, these trees are big sellers. Take your time carving the pine things in, and boom, this says it all right here. Carving Fusion over out, and can't wait to see all the pictures of the trees you guys are going to make, I hope. On the group Carving Fusion, Will the Woodcarvers on original on Facebook, and on Carving Fusion's members group on Facebook. Thanks, everybody. Okay, bye.
Sorry, one more thing too. Like I said earlier, Amy Jo started a YouTube channel. She's such a big supporter for everybody's carvings and art. So you guys do me a favor, do the community a favor, go over there and subscribe to her channel. The link will be in the description below. Okay, bye.